And now it's time for Professor Koree!
Thank you for joining us here on Reality Rants. I being your host, Professor Koree, and yet another personality created by myself to somehow get my stress out and vent my anger towards the world. Now, rather than explain the mitigating circumstances that got me to this point to begin with, I think it's better that we just kind of jump into these things. And how we're going to jump into it today is with one magical word. And we all know what this word is. Give me 1 second here. That word is drama. Drama. We know what drama is, right? We've all heard of it. It's the mean girls. It's the world around us. It's the people who we think are nitpicking and talking about things they don't need to talk about. It's the high school girls. No, it's life. Drama is life, plain and simple. If you watch things like House, or if you watch things like Jersey Shore, if you get any kind of pleasure out of any kind of music or anything, not only do you know what drama is, but you like drama. And this is why I'm so mad when people say that they don't like drama. They want to live drama-free lives. I mean, it's ridiculous. You want to know what? Let's be real. Drama isn't what's bothering you, because if you can watch those shows and like them, then you like drama. The problem that you have is when it comes to you, when this is in front of you, which means you're not scared of drama, you're scared of conflict. How deluded are you in your lives, be this whoever it may, that you decided that in order to avert any kind of situation, that you're just going to kind of rid yourself of drama? What are you going to do? Sit in a house all day and do nothing? Are you going to cast people out of your lives that cause any sort of conflict? It's everybody. I mean, people fight. People have problems with other people. People socialize negatively. People say bad things about people. I mean, you can't escape it. I love drama. Not in the sense that I actively seek it out, but I like the idea of conflict. Do you want to know why? Because if people conflict, then we come to a resolution. And when we come to resolutions, we get somewhere closer to getting to a perfect world or a nicer place. If you avoid this, you don't get anything. You get hermits, you get secrets, you get lies, you get recluses, and you get broken hearts. People who embrace this concept are often labeled drama queens. And you wanna know what? I'm okay with being called a drama queen, because that means that I'm okay with my life enough to go out and deal with other things, to go out and put my problems and other people's problems out there to be resolved, as opposed to hiding and running away from everything. If that's what that life is for me, then I will strut down the runway in my high heels and stilettos every fucking day to prove what a diva I am. I really don't care. I live in secrets for no one. I guess we've covered drama enough, sufficiently enough for me at least. So we're going to move on to the next topic for today. This one applies to a lot of people, actually. It's called The next word is something that we all have. Now, expectations. I don't know how clear this is on the video, and I really don't particularly care because you're listening to me anyways, and it's kind of hard to drown my voice out. What I mean by expectations are, and I know this is bad to use the word in the actual definition of the word, are the things you expect from people. Now, this can be things you expect from your friends, your family, from yourself, but more importantly, the people that you're talking to. Actually, no, this applies just as much with friends too, as I've come to find out. Now, if you have an expectation of somebody, it means you expect them to act in a certain way, to do a certain thing. But the thing is, sometimes people ignore these obvious signs. Like, they'll see somebody who is a selfish person, maybe, and for some reason they'll disregard that. And they'll have the expectation that they're going to be nice and kind because all people are, of course, nice and kind. No, that's not how the world works. There are good people and there are bad people. And if you choose to disregard the bad people in hopes that you're going to somehow change them, then you have unreasonable expectations. And it's your own fault when you get hurt. I have no sympathy for the person who walks into a volatile situation and ends up getting scathed because they didn't want to listen. Because their friends may have told them. Because their gut was telling them. Because everybody around them told them. But they just didn't want to listen. I'm sorry, kid, that's your fault. I was briefly talking about good people, or I said a good person and a bad person. And I think that good and bad, good and evil, whatever, let's put good and bad, are very important things. Now, it's kind of, I don't know, I mean, philosophers have been trying to define the good person and the moral person, the ethical person, and the bad person, whatever, for years. And so I can't do anything but put my own personal 2 cents in on the pot as well, which I really don't care if anybody's listening, but it's my 2 cents. Now, when I'm talking about good people and bad people, I'm not talking about the actions that they do per se. I think that everybody does something that we would judge as good, and everybody would do something that we judge as bad, because we all have different perceptions of what good and bad are. What I'm talking about is how you deal with those situations afterwards. In my opinion, the good person, after doing a bad thing, will be genuinely remorseful about what he's done. They will seek apologies, they will try to rectify the situation, they'll know that they did wrong and try to right it or try to correct it or seek some kind of means to make it okay. Now, this is most people. I mean, if you accidentally push somebody down in a line or you bump into somebody, you'll say you're sorry and walk away, Or if you hurt somebody's feelings unintentionally, you'll try to apologize to them and explain, this isn't how it's supposed to be or whatever. But the good people aren't what are important tonight. Today. It's still daytime. What I'm focusing on are the bad people. Now, the bad person is somebody who will do a bad act, know that they did a bad act, acknowledge that they did the bad act, and then not do anything about it. Just not care. Just kind of walk away from the situation. Now, this can sometimes be as simple as, a coworker taking a table and just being like, oh, well, it's my money. But sometimes, it's a lot more deep and hurting. Deep and hurting, really. Sometimes it's a lot more deep and scarring, I guess I should say. Sometimes we'll put ourselves in situations where we're talking to people and we are not projecting the entire truth to that person, and that person ends up hurt. And as opposed to being remorseful for it or apologizing to it or trying to explain yourself to that person, you just kind of walk away from the situation and say, well, fuck it. Who the fuck are you? Like, really? Are you that kind of person that is just going to treat another person like they're complete garbage? What's that say about you as a person, that you care so little about your fellow man that you're just willing to walk away and trot upon other people to get what you want in life? That's fucked up. Bad people are everywhere. And you can't prevent it. Sometimes you won't see it. Sometimes we refuse to see it because of our expectations. But you have to watch out. I mean, and if you are a bad person, realize it. Like, come to the acknowledgement that you're this bad person. And I'm not trying to do this to create some huge revelation, but to give some clarity to the situation. I want the people, I'm not expecting the world to change overnight. I mean, nobody does. But I at least want people to see what they are. Going back to conflict, a bad person doesn't want to look in the mirror because they know that they're going to be conflicted within themselves. So what do? They go out and they hide and they party and they have fun with their friends and create drama-free environments, bashing other people's expectations of them, setting up new expectations which they don't expect people to fill, and going on with day-to-day life. Just mowing down everybody in their path. These are the monsters. I don't tolerate monsters. Never have, never will. One of the last things that I want to talk about today are the people who are, actually to anybody who's trying to pursue a relationship with somebody. Like, go out there, socialize. I encourage it. I'm not even saying, like, you have to talk to one person at a time. Talk to many people. I mean, that's perfectly cool. I'm not saying slut around by any means, but it's okay to explore your options, to see what the world out there has to offer. There are 8 billion people. You'd be dumb not to. But the thing is, what happens when you find that person, or you think you found that person? What do you do? Do you still continue to talk to all those other people? Do you hope that maybe fate will intervene, and if that right person was meant to be there, they're going to stay? Okay, here's a little word on fate. If fate is real, then be it by whatever hand or power or centrifugal force, then things like 9/11 and the Holocaust and the Columbine shootings and all these, the tsunami and Katrina, these were all meant and fated to happen. That these people were meant to die from day one. Is that really the same force that you're going to trust with your love life? You're going to hope that something or someone or whatever that is so unspeakably odd in their actions is somehow going to seek time out of their day to grant you love? To hope that that one person happens to meet you in that one fated interaction? That's naive. If you find something and you think it's worth, chasing after it, then chase after it. Don't hope that they're going to wait around for you. People don't always wait, and people shouldn't wait. You shouldn't put yourself on hold for another person, because life is too short for that. That's ridiculous. All right. Well, I think I've sufficiently bitched enough for today, so hopefully we'll have more of Dr. Koree's rants, because I really enjoyed this a lot. But enjoy your weekend, guys.